What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we got some fun for you. Really fun video today. I wanted to share this video with you guys. I've been getting a lot of comments along the lines of how did I build my collection, my museum collection? How did I put it together? You know, what type of things do I look for when I'm collecting? How do I approach a certain, toy company or line of action figures and make those decisions to what I want, in my collection? People wanted to just kind of know, get some feedback from me, some information just on how I do it, or how I would go about doing it. And there was one subscriber that just wanted to know, because I guess he's just starting out, with his collection. He wanted to know some tips on budgeting and things of that nature. So you know what, this would definitely make a fun video to really do. And so what better way and what better place to shoot this video right here other than right here in the museum. Guys, I have, oh my goodness, nearly 45, at last count, nearly 4,500, 4,800, some close to near 5,000 pieces of collectibles stored in my museum, in storage. So I have a lot of action figures, a lot of things that I've been collecting over the past 25, 30 years. The best thing I could do for a new collector that's just getting started, and best information I could give him or her, would be, we all know this one: collect what you like. Absolutely, positively collect what you like. And I know some people say, M.I.B, you like a lot. That's true. That's true. I tend to go where my likes take me. I mean, that can take me all over the place. I can be, one minute I love Masters of the Universe, the next time I'm in love with G.I. Joe, the next minute maybe a Mego figure catches my eye, so on and so forth. Collect what you like. Have a passion for the hobby. If I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're collecting, which is fine, I don't have a problem with this aspect. I have a lot of friends of mine that collect for the financial aspects of it. I got a collector buddy of mine now that I've known for 25 years. He collects on the strict premises that he's going to sell his collection one day. He's building a collection for monetary value, nothing else, nothing more. Not for the love of it. He just wants to sell his collection at some point. So he goes after extremely expensive vintage items, everything from Masters of the Universe to, like I said, to G.I. Joe, Transformers. The list goes on and on. I mean, I think he even has a Tickle Me Elmo. He has about 2 or 3 Tickle Me Elmos in there. The original ones that came out back in, I believe, 1996. His whole thought process is to build this massive collection to simply sell it one day at double or triple the price, that he bought it at, or that he collected it at. That's fine. That's fine. If you're collecting for the sheer love and the passion of just being a collector, then this video's for you. This is the video that's designed for you. This is what I'm intending this. I want this video to be about. So it's about what you like, what you enjoy. So For starters, one, collect what you like. Okay. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to cost, hundreds of dollars. It could be something as, something like a five and dime store type of a toy. I got a good buddy of mine that only collects the Pez dispenser toys, and that's a passion. It's fun. That keyword right there, fun. It has to be about fun. I'm having fun doing this video right now, talking about collecting things that I love. It has to have that overtone to it. If you're not having fun, you're not collecting what you like. I had it was a viewer years ago made a comment on one of my videos, and he said, M.I.B, why don't you just collect everything? And I said, well, I don't collect everything because I don't like everything. So he said, well, you got a channel, and if you want more views and you want more subscribers, collect all of this stuff. And then if you, whatever the garbage that you really don't like, that you've already purchased and bought for your collection, just sell it later. And I said, that makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I started this channel to share with you some of the treasures that I had in my museum, that I have in my museum. I collect what I like, what I enjoy. It has to be like that. That's your foundation. Young collectors out there, that's your foundation. Collecting what you absolutely love to collect. Don't collect because somebody else is collecting something else. Unless you like that. But if you're just collecting just to collect, and a lot of that stuff, a lot of your stuff is going to end up in bins and pushed to the side and forgotten about, then that's not collecting at all. Not my definition of collecting. So that's the first thing. Collect what you like. Enjoy what you collect. You enjoy what you collect. My second rule of thumb for anybody that's starting out, and what I did for my collecting habits, is I basically focused early on maybe 2 or 3 toy lines that I wanted. And that the first toy line was G.I. Joe, because G.I. Joe, I didn't have it. I couldn't get them when I was a kid. We couldn't afford them. So G.I. Joe was one of my favorite action figures that I simply never could attain at a young age because my parents simply couldn't afford it. So I wanted to find as many G.I. Joe figures as I could to collect. And the passion was there immediately. The connection was there immediately. So I went out and started locating all of the newer modern G.I. Joes because I'm an M.I.B collector. So I went after those first to really build my collection. And it got a little crazy after a while because there were times where I was getting a little crazy with my collecting, and we'll touch on that a little bit as well, of just wanting to have everything. Guys, that's impossible. You cannot. I don't care how much you're in love with a toy line. If that toy line is putting out 100 action figures a year, it's going to be practically impossible to obtain all of those figures for a lot of reasons. Financial is one. 2, regionally, you just might not be able to find some of the figures that are coming out because they're just not in your area. How many times I've seen a good buddy of mine that lives in, let's say California, he's looking for a certain G.I. Joe at his Walmart, and we're going back to like the the mid 1990s, and he'll call me and say, "Hey, you know, MIB, did you find that particular?" I said, "Yeah, I found this one, but I don't have the one you have." So it was one of those things. So it's going to be difficult to kind of keep up with everything. So don't get caught up in trying to have everything at such a quick, immediate time frame. You know, it's impossible. Then there's a fine line from being a collector to being obsessive, very fanatical about it, because you can very easily become addicted. Trust me, it's very easy. You don't get into the situation where you're spending money that you don't have to spend. This these are toys, these are collectibles. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be on the market. Tell yourself that they're going to be on the market. You don't have to worry about it. I've been there before, been there, done that. It's taken me some time, sometimes decades, to find an action figure. And that was largely in part for me just being so choosy and picky, because I am an MIB collector. So definitely my advice: patience, have fun, pick a few items, toy lines that you really like, and try to focus on that. Focus your financial aspects on those two or three toy lines. Do your research. If you have friends that are collecting the same stuff that you're collecting, another thing I found to be very helpful is trades. I did do trades back in the day. I'd say probably in the early 1990s, for a few GI Joes that I just didn't have. I had collector buddies that had bigger GI Joe collections than I had at the time, and I wanted figures that they had, and they wanted figures that I had. I thankful I had some multiples. They had some multiples. That helped. Now you're not paying money, you're just trading. So that's another fun aspect of our hobby, of being able to connect with fellow collectors, friends, buddies that have the same likes that you have, and that you can make trades and deals for different figures that you don't have to build and fill in the gaps for your collection. Guys, if you're just hanging out with us today, we're down here in a museum. We're talking about how I have built, how I've went about building my collection. And I'm just offering some friendly advice to kind of point some things out to newcomers to the channel, people that's been asking me in the past, how did I get this collection? How did I go about building this collection? More information, guys, as I look around at my collection, and some days I'm so amazed and blown away by how much and how fast I've accumulated and built my collection. And it's to the point now where I actually have to slow down, because having so much stuff, where it's extremely fun, it's exciting collecting stuff. But another rule of thumb I would definitely offer, this is something I have to look at from my point of view as well, what I do: stop and smell the coffee. And what I mean by that, guys, a lot of people see my collection and they want to have a collection this size, or they see somebody else's collection that's really big and they want a collection that size. Stop for a minute and understand that we didn't get here overnight. This collection that I've built didn't happen inside of a week or a month or a year or 2 years or 3 years. This is basically a period of nearly 30 years of collecting. Start small. Focus on just enjoying your action figures. That's what I do now. I'll come down here and I'll just go through my archives and look at figures that I haven't seen in decades. And guys, I'm being honest, stuff that's been put away, that's been packed away for decades, I just haven't seen. And it's so much fun to go back through my archives at my museum here and see action figures that I haven't seen in a while, and the memories come pouring back. Now, I'm not thinking at that point about buying any other action figures and building and adding more stuff to my collection. I'm just focusing on the fun aspects of seeing a figure that I haven't seen in decades. It's so much fun, guys. It's not about who has the biggest collection of action figures, whose G.I. Joe army is the biggest and the baddest. It's all about memory, fun memories that we've had growing up as kids, as young adults, looking back on the action figures that we used to see on TV commercials and stuff. And now we have these figures in our collections, or these figures bring back those type of memories for us. All fun, guys. That's another reason why I've built such a massive toy collection. The memories just keep coming back to me. They just keep coming back. And every time I'm in a store or I'm shopping at a toy site online on my computer, and I come across a figure I haven't seen in a long time, I have to have it. Or I see a figure that makes me think of my childhood, which was a very rich childhood. I have to have that figure. See, it all comes back full circle to the passion and the love of collecting. So just enjoy the process and the journey of collecting. Whether you have 5 action figures in your collection, 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 50 action figures in your collection, it's all fun. Don't be in such a rush to try to build a massive toy collection. And guys, I know it sounds crazy because it's like, oh, M.I.B. It's easy for you to say you got nearly 5,000 pieces in your collection. That's over time, though, guys. I didn't start like that. Started with 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 figures, like one of my viewers told me. And he says he's got about maybe 8 or 9 action figures, and he just wants to know, how did I go about, obtaining so many action figures in my museum? Time. It takes time. And have fun in the process while you're collecting. Have fun with the journey. Not so much as with the destination, with the journey of getting to where you need to go with your collection. Guys, this is fun. This is fun for me because any chance I get to talk to you guys about toys and action figures and collecting, it's always a time of pure joy. It's always a time of reflection, an escape from the horrors of our world, guys, that we know we live in on a day-to-day basis, week to week basis, a year to year basis. A safe haven, if you will. Collecting our toy collections is a safe haven for us. Another rule of thumb I've always had was that I would never bring anything that wasn't toy related into my collection, or into my collecting mentality, where it would make me stop thinking about how much fun I was having as a toy collector. And as a YouTuber, I try to stay away from a lot of the politics that surrounds our world today. I love to focus on toys. That's why you very rarely see me on camera. I think I've been on camera FaceTime wise, maybe 4 or 5 times, maybe 5 or 6 times, because I want it to be about the toys. It has to be about the toys, guys. Make your collections about your toys. Have fun with the toys. They're toys. They're not to be taken seriously. I have a ton of ex collector buddies that simply take the toys too seriously. And that's my next thing I like to kind of segue into. Don't take this so seriously. This is not guys, it's supposed to be fun. Okay, it should be fun. There shouldn't be stress involved with collecting action figures, collecting comic books. I collect comic books too, so there shouldn't be stress involved in any of this. I've had a viewer come on, very mean spirited comments. You're not taking this figure out. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. I hate the fact that they made that figure. Why would you even purchase that figure? Things like that. Guys, it's not that serious. It really isn't. And if anybody has that type of a hang up with an action figure or a toy, you got bigger problems. Okay, let me tell you, buddy, you got bigger problems than just collecting toys. Collect, have fun, enjoy what you want to do with your toy collections. Guys, our toy collections, there are oases. There are escape hatches for us to go into different universes, different worlds, away from the rigors of real life. Job, the stresses of that, everything. This is our little escape for us, whether it's for an hour or just 2 hours, or however long you watch one of my videos or another toy collector video. Separate yourself from a lot of the craziness and just enjoy the toys. So definitely, I just wanted to share that with you guys as well. There's a lot that goes into this, but it's a lot of fun stuff about why I have such a big collection, why I enjoy collecting so many different things. And like I said, I'll segue in. This segues into another topic of discussion. I've become everybody knows that I'm an M.I.B collector. Once again, collect what you like. If you enjoy opening your figures, that's fantastic. If you enjoy keeping your figures in the packaging like I do, that's fine too. Don't let people pressure you one way or the other. This is your collection. These are your toys. Enjoy your toys the way you want to enjoy them. And that is huge. I've had a lot of viewers tell me that they've been pressured, to open a figure. They really didn't want to open a figure, or vice versa. And I tell them, guys, it's your money, it's your time, it's your resources, it's your property. Do it. Do what you want to do with your property. It's your action figures, So once again, not too much seriousness involved. A lot of fun. A little bit of hard work. And I say a little bit of hard work because finding certain figures in my collection was hard work, but it was fun at the same time. Because I didn't put too much pressure on myself trying to find figures. You know, I wanted to find a certain figure. I researched, I did my homework. Either the figure was too expensive or the box was damaged. I couldn't add it to my collection. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, guys. Move on. That'd be my next word of advice and wisdom. If you can't find a particular figure, move on to the next figure. Move on to the next figure. I did a video a little while ago about, you know, the toy aisles that we, you know, at these different store locations and how horrible they are. Okay. But I always go back as I'm knocking stuff down off of my museum here. But I always go back to the thrill of the hunt. Another passion that I have is physically going store to store, burning up gas in the car to find a certain figure and come home empty-handed with nothing. With nothing. Set out. The journey is to have fun, to find these figures. And is it slightly disappointing? Yes, but it's more fun than disappointing to come home empty-handed sometimes when you just haven't found anything. It's the thrill of the hunt. And guys, we all know as collectors the thrill of actually finding that special figure that you've been looking for, that you've been searching for. You just quite haven't been able to locate. No other feeling in the world really compares to that, because it's like you've dreamt about it, you've fantasized about this action figure, you've came up short so many times in trying to locate it, and to finally have it in your collection. There's absolutely no feeling that's better than that. It's worth all of the, you know, the times that you missed out and you couldn't find it, it was too much, or the box was damaged. Fantastic, awesome feeling. So we as collectors kind of know that. So another thing I would share with you guys, if you want to go out and start building a collection, is to don't focus on basically the, how should I say? I want to put this right for you guys, because I've heard it said a couple times. I want to put it in my own words though. Focus on the immediate gratification. And what I mean by that is, by focusing on the immediate gratification, if you see 3 action figures in a toy store and you want all 3, but you can only afford one, make a decision. Okay? Make a decision. And I'll share this with you. This is what I was haunted by as a collector earlier on, when I was just first building my collection. I would go and I would see 3 G.I. Joes that I did not have. They were brand new. They just came out. They're in Toys R Us. They're all staring at me on the toy aisle shelf. I only have enough money for one. And a lot of times I made a mistake. I would pick the one. I didn't have any of them. So picking one should have been the immediate gratification, but I didn't see it that way back then. So you guys can kind of learn from my mistakes, especially a lot of you new collectors. I picked one, and it wasn't enough that I had that one figure that I didn't have to begin with. I had that G.I. Joe in my collection now. I would lay in bed at night, staring up at the ceiling, thinking about the 2 that I did not have, wondering if they still would be on the shelf in a week or 2 weeks, or however long it took for me to get another paycheck to run back out there to pick them up. Guys, that is absolutely a miserable way of existing as a collector, as a toy collector, trying to build a collection. I just be happy, guys, with your collection. Be happy with the ability to be able to afford an action figure, to have one in your collection that you don't have that you wanted. That's what it all boils down to. Building a fun collection, building a a collection that you can escape to, that you can enjoy, that you can love. You're having a bad day, go to your collection. Wherever your collection room is at in your house, go there, spend some time in your collection room, reflect, have fun. Um, we all know life is short. You know, it's what we do in between being born and passing away that defines us. And those joys and those passions and those times that we want to just have fun with our families, our friends. That's what this is all about. Guys, I just wanted to share that with you today. We got a lot more coming from the M.I.B Master Toy Museum. I always enjoy doing the FaceTime videos with you guys. It's so much fun. It's a blast, actually. Collect what you want. If you have any comments, guys, leave them right underneath this video. We love to get back to you. I'll answer all the questions, all the comments to the best of my ability. Share some more information with you. If I missed out on something that you might wanted to ask or add to this video, definitely, by all means, leave the comments in the comment section right underneath this video, guys. I'll get to it. You know the routine. God bless. Okay. Be safe. And please keep collecting what you love.